The following is your CRST Chairman's Report with the CRST Tribal Chairman, Ryman LeBeau, brought to you by KIPI Radio and the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe.
Oh, Madakiapi, Yuha Chante Washte Nape Chuza Palo, Uchashi Yamani Macha. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Ryman LeBeau, Chairman of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. And I'm here to provide you my 6-month update. And we've just been working hard. Our staff, we've been every day going into our office, trying to meet the needs of the people. So I've outlined the priorities that that we have been working on for the past 6 months. And it kind of started out with the transition with the prior administration, their staff, our staff. We had meetings prior to December 6th, and December 6th came and we were sworn in, of course, and we took over the administration, and we're working on rebuilding the relationships with the Indian Health Service, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Bureau of Indian Education, and the other federal agencies. As you know, we're kind of forced to work with the federal government because of our treaties, because of that situation we're in, and the trust responsibility of the federal government. So we have this federal tribal relationship that we have to maintain lines of communication. We got to talk to them, and they got to know our needs, and they got to know the issues we've faced on a daily basis if need. So that's an ongoing relationship with the federal government, with the Indian Health Service, the IHS, the BIA, the BIE, and other federal agencies like USDA. There's a lot of other agencies that we're interfacing with currently. So yeah, we have to maintain that relationship, and we have to continue to develop the projects. We inherited some projects, and we've started new ones. So we go on. And these are the priorities. I'll just list the priorities out, and then I'll get into them. Priority number 1, and this is not in any order, really. It's but the priority number 1 we've been working on is the long-range strategic planning. We want to do planning throughout our reservation. We want our people to have input on this planning project, because we want our people to paint a picture of what they want for our future going forward. And to get this done, this long-range strategic planning project, we're going to need help. We're going to need contractors. We're going to need funds. So we made requests into the BIA, and they approved an award for $150,000 for the long-range strategic planning. And what this planning project does is it literally goes into each community. The contractors, my staff, the planning office, and whoever else wants to help. We'll be going to each community and doing interviews, doing surveys, and working on what the future holds for each individual tribal member in each community. And it might be different going from one community to the next, but collectively, we'll have our priorities, we'll have our objectives, we'll have our goals that we want to reach, and we'll have all that defined by the people. And that way, we are working on exactly what the people want to see for their reservation, for their community, for their nation going forward. So this is a really important project that we've been working hard on. We've advertised for contractors, and we've received bids, and we're going to do a selection, and we're going to draw down the funds from the BIA, and we'll be out in the communities hopefully this fall, and we're looking forward to it. Definitely an exciting time for our people. Next priority we have is gaming. We've looked around Indian country at gaming models used by other tribes, successfully used by other tribes. And one that pops up and that is attractive is one that tribes like the Porch Creek from Alabama use. It's called Class 2. And with Class 2, there's no agreement with the state. It's all tribal. And Class 2 is based on the bingo. You can have Class 2 slot machines, and that's what other tribes use. There's several models out there that other tribes have successfully used, and that's one that we want to use at Fort Pierre, at the Fort Pierre site. There's approximately 70 acres down there along the water. It's a beautiful site. I've been there previously, and we've got a contractor on, tribal member, and he's been working hard on this, and perhaps in a year or so we'd have we can have a casino at that Fort Pierce site using the Class 2 model. So in that way, the Class 2, there's no agreement with the state. There's no agreement with the county. It's 100% tribal. The tribe would receive 100% of the profits. So if you look around the state of South Dakota, there's other tribes in our state, and I think all of them have agreements with the state. They're a Class 3 setup, the other tribes currently, where they have to pay a percentage to the state of South Dakota. But with us, we have that opportunity of, since we don't have a casino yet, we can do this research and we can do the Class 2 model, and that way we receive 100% of our money. And there's no agreement, there's no issues with the state at all. It's a good way to go. It's a good way to maintain our sovereignty, maintain our jurisdiction, and that way we get 100% of the funds. And with the money, we can help our people. We have a huge housing crisis, and we can use that money, those funds, to help our people. So that's one of the things that we need to do, is bring in more funds for our tribe to be successful. Because currently, it's not happening. It doesn't work. You look around our reservation, and there's a lot of need. There's a lot that has to happen. There's a lot of housing. We need to create more jobs. So definitely a way to do that is through gaming. And also, we wanted to bring bingo back here to Eagle Butte. We have a bingo hall. We don't have bingo at all. So that's one of the things that we need to do is bring back bingo. I think a lot of people like bingo. So whether it's just for fun or, gaming, we can definitely do gaming, bingo in our bingo hall. So that's what it's there for. That's what it was built for. Moving on, the next priority is housing. Like I said, housing is a huge need. We recently met with the Cheyenne River Housing Authority. They reported that there's about 1,200 people on their waiting list, and there's about 400 or so that continuously check on their applications. Every so often, they'll renew their application. Something changes, and they'll update it. 1,200, 400, those are huge numbers that our tribe needs to meet. So we have to do our part. We look around our communities, look around Eagle Butte. We need more hookups for water, more hookups for sewer. We need more lots. Currently, we don't have any of that. So that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been working on, though, is developing those lands around Eagle Butte. There are several tracts of land that the tribe had purchased in the past, and we can access those lands now. And those lands are like the Becker land north of Eagle Butte, the Snyder land, which is next to the Becker land. Those are all tribal lands now, were purchased years ago. Also, the Briskey's land, there's land out by Briskey's Lake. Also, there's the Habitat land. There's land, I think it's east of Habitat, Elkview 2. So that's all tribal land, and currently the council helped fund a project out there by Habitat called the Courtyard Project, and that would be through the Cheyenne River Housing Authority. They're gonna build 30 lots for houses, stick built, modular, or trailer houses, double wide, single wide. So they'll put up the 30 lots. The council passed the resolution the other day to help fund that project. That would be phase 1, and it goes up to phase 3, up to 90 lots in that area. So we've been working on finding more funds for Housing Authority to go on to phase 2. Even if we can find the funds, we'll fund them up to phase 2 if we can. So hopefully we could find the funds to fund that. We're talking to Indian Health Service. We're talking to BIA about more funds for our infrastructure needs for our people. So that's one approach that we've been doing, and we're also talking to Senator Rounds. We met with the senator back in March, and we talked about several different ways of getting more housing to Cheyenne River. That was one of the issues he brought up, said the senator. He wanted to see more jobs and more housing available for our people, which is, I commend that, and because that's what we need right now is housing. He talked about doing a tribal tax credit that will be specifically for tribes, go directly to the tribes so they can set up more housing using a tax credit model. So that's one approach that's another approach that we've been working on to address more housing. Another interesting opportunity that has come up was they're called Charter. And Charter is a company out of Mississippi. And what they do is their model is like a lease to own model with the homeowner, the individual, and the Charter company has neighborhoods around Mississippi for low income families, and I've seen videos of the place and of the neighborhoods, and they're well maintained. There's green grass. There's no junk cars. There's no dogs running around. It's a nice place, and it's basically rent to own model. So the renter pays like $600 whatever dollars, and that actually goes towards owning the home after a certain year. So Charter, they want to come to Cheyenne River. They're interested in Cheyenne River. And so we're talking to them now. We did some conference calls with them. We're going to go visit them, and we're going to try to bring them back here to Cheyenne River. Previously, we've discussed these matters with them, and they indicated that if they're leased like 40 acres with the infrastructure on it, they would come in and build the houses to go with it. And I believe it was around 56 houses that they would put up, and then they would use that model to rent to own, lease to own model for the individual families to eventually own the home. So, and we know that poverty is in part because people don't own their own houses. So this is one model that'll help create more homeowners. And once that's paid off, that could be handed down to the next generation, to those that mom, that dad can hand that house off to their children, and that's generational wealth. So that's one way to help address the poverty that we faced on our reservation. The next priority that we have is the law enforcement, and we're negotiating a 5-year, $638 contract for law enforcement services. We're requesting that they increase the funds so we can hire more officers. Our chief, Red Crow, had indicated 32 officers would be an okay amount of officers to have on our reservation to help cover our reservation. As you know, our reservation is huge. We're the 4th largest reservation in the country. So it takes a lot to cover our reservation. So we need to have the adequate amount of officers to cover our reservation at any given time. So that's kind of where we are now. We've been in discussions with off and on since we got in office with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the regional director, Tim LaPointe. And one of the sticking points was that they tried to use against us was our audits, saying, "Oh, you guys are behind on your audits, 2 audit years. So we're not gonna, we're gonna hold that against you." So that's why this is a continual negotiation. It's not just one and done. So we're kind of we're basically waiting until we get our audits done. And I know our treasurer Keckler, he's been very good about that, and he has the auditors scheduled to get those audits completed and caught up. So once that's done, we will go back to the table with BIA and get this contract done for a 5-year contract and for increased funding. So the funding issue and the number of officers is an issue throughout Indian country. As you know, our old Oglala Sioux tribe, they've sued and they won their case of with the federal government suing BIA for more officers. So that's something we support as well. We support the Oglalas in that regard. So yeah, it's definitely a much needed issue is to for the police officers to be increased throughout our reservations. Going on, we have our next priority is the tribal office. As you know, we have moved out of the old tribal office years ago, probably back in 2012 or thereabout, and we moved basically over to the conference room of the Cheyenne River Motel, and that doesn't work out. That's an issue. We have offices all over the town of Eagle Butte, and when someone comes in looking for help, they got to drive all over town to try to access that help. So we want to see a new tribal office go up, be constructed with all the appropriate tribal programs within it, also BIA within it, and all those programs and BIA and whoever else is within our new tribal office, they can all be charged rent and pay for the building pay for the mortgage of the building. So we're looking at doing a $100 million USDA guaranteed loan to construct tribal office, and we figure about 40 million up to maybe 50 million is after COVID, things inflation went up, the cost of building materials went up, so at one point we had the tribal office estimated around 30 million, and now after COVID, that number goes up probably to 40, even $50 million. We have a design of the tribal office done, and that needs to be, it's not done, but one step of it's done, and we want to get public comment on that design. We want to get tribal council's comment on that design. So there's more work to be done, but yeah, we're looking at doing this $100 million loan to cover the cost of the tribal office, and the tribal office will be at the Touch the Clouds land. The Touch the Clouds land is north of the Powwow grounds, and that's all tribal land now. That was purchased long ago, back in 2010. All that land there. So yeah, that's where the new tribal office will go. Also, with this $100 million USDA grant, we want to build a wellness center at the Touch the Clouds land, and this wellness center would include basketball courts, volleyball courts. It would include the fitness center. It would include aquatic center. It would include a walking, running track indoor, and it'd be a place where people can go to learn more about how to eat right and how to cook, how to prepare food. So that's what we're working on. We have a design of that as well, and we actually asked Senator Rounds to include an earmark to pay for that, and that didn't work out. But he was willing to do that for us. So that's we wanted preventive healthcare to be one of our initiatives and one of our priorities. So that's what we're doing in response to the diabetes, to the cancers, to the heart disease, to the lung disease. All those are the top in the top list of things that we die from is what I just said: the heart disease, lung disease, the cancers, so those are the main killers. The number one killer is accidents, like car accidents. And that's throughout the state of South Dakota, and that was research that was done by the Indian Health Service. So all those can be prevented, though. So if we're talking preventive health care, we're talking a wellness center, we're talking recreation center, we're talking a place that people can go to work out. And, it has got to be up to date, too. We've got to use the key card, just like Anytime Fitness, those places, people can go in there and work out at any time. So that's the model we want to use for our reservation, for our people's health care, to prevent all those sicknesses from happening in the first place. If we know how to take care of ourselves, if we know how to eat right, if we have access to that food, we can prevent all these sicknesses, and we can live healthy. We can teach our kids to live healthy as well. So that's the whole point, is to prevent the sickness and to be healthy. So definitely looking forward to providing that design that's come up with as well for the wellness center, recreation center. We're going on our next priority. It's food sovereignty, and we're promoting food sovereignty as a key aspect for our initiatives. And the idea was to use what we have currently. So on Cheyenne River, we have cows, we have beef, we have buffalo, and with the Buffalo Authority, they purchased the West Side Meats in Mobridge, and that's been running and going well. They're seeing a lot of success at West Side Meats. So one of the ideas coming into this was to use local beef, was to use local buffalo, turnips, berries, chayaka, June berries, buffalo berries, choke cherries, and basically harvesting all that and getting it back to our people, getting it back into our communities. I just talked about preventive health care and eating right, learning how to eat right, and having access to that food. So with food sovereignty, we here at Cheyenne River, we can basically eat what we grow. It only makes sense. So that's one of the things that we're working on is this food sovereignty. If there's another COVID, if there's another, outbreak of whatever, when we're having trouble accessing food, we should be able to live off our land, live off the cows that we grow, the buffalo that we grow, and the traditional foods that we grow currently. So this is definitely food sovereignty for Cheyenne River. We're also looking at greenhouses. We want to perhaps set up our greenhouses so we can grow year round, and we can perhaps even have LTM purchase that food to get back into the people. And we found, and good news is we found a grant, and we've applied. And this grant would do exactly what I just described. It would be funds to purchase buffalo, purchase cows to be processed through Westside Meats or wherever, and also we can use the funds to purchase from other tribes. Like we can purchase wild rice from the Minnesota tribes. We can purchase chicken from I believe Oglala has a chicken plant, and we can put all these local turnips, chayaka, berries and June berries into a box and distribute it. So that we're just waiting to hear back on that grant, and once we hear back on it, we'll hit the ground running, and we'll get these animals processed and feed the people, bring it back out to the people. So that hopefully we get approved for that grant, and otherwise we'll continue on the track we've been on and trying to get our local produced beef, buffalo, vegetables back to our people. So we'll go on to the next priority is our laws and our policies. Then we come into this, we noticed some of our policies are very old and they need to be revised. And that's what we've been doing is revising old laws and also bringing new laws to the table. The new ones would be the water code. We've seen the Navajo Nation just got beat in the Supreme Court, ruled against their water rights to the Colorado River. So in response to that, we need to make sure we have our water code here on Cheyenne River, which we never had before. We need to make sure we have water quality standards, which we never had before. And once we do that, it'll increase the water quality standards going up the river. So going up the Missouri, going up the Cheyenne River, going up the Moore River. Once we pass and implement our water quality standards, it'll improve water going up the river. So from the Cheyenne River going up towards the Black Hills, and same with the Morrill and the Missouri. So definitely a good thing to have in place not only for us, but for Unchimaka, for everyone else. It'll have a good effect going forward for all our people. The personnel policies and procedures manual is very old and definitely needs to be updated. We came into a situation where we saw how this policy had failed us, and so we need to get this updated as soon as possible. And I'm the chairman, and I also chair the Claims and Legislation Committee. So that's a good committee to chair and work with the council members to update these laws. So definitely looking forward to doing that work for our people. So going on, next priority is our Lakota language. We're working on a job description. We're going to be advertising for Lakota Yapi director, and this position would be within the tribal government, and it's never been there before. So we're excited about it, and we've actually looked at other models that are out there, what other tribes are doing, and we've noticed that Standing Rock has the language nest, the emergent school, and also Oglala has a emergent school as well through their Thunder Valley community development. So that's something we need to have here on Cheyenne River, and have an emergent school for our people, for our children, so we don't lose our language. Every day that goes by, that gap between our fluent speakers and everyone else gets bigger, and so we got to do something about that. Having a Lakota language department within our tribe, that we think is the first step, and that department will help revitalize our language throughout our reservation, not just for children but also for adults. So definitely have to start working on saving our language through our schools, our communities, our programs, our stores. Head Start, there's another one where we can get funding through Head Start to help bring more Lakota language within our Head Start. So that way our children at a young age, along with the emergent school, we can save our language and revitalize our language. We've all had usually someone within our family that is fluent, and for our family it was Unchi Marcella, and she's no longer with us, and we've learned a lot from her. We have a lot of teachings to use going forward, but it's coming to that time though. My relatives is where we have to get serious about saving our language. And they said Cheyenne River, we have 4 bands here, and our language is unique because we're kind of isolated a little bit from the other reservations. So it is a good time though for us to start this program. So we'll be advertising for a director and staff, and we'll be creating this Lakota language department. So going on to our next priority is, I mentioned it earlier, was the Touch the Clouds land, and out at the Touch the Clouds land is going to be the new CEB school. The new school will be kind of towards the back there, and we've got the funds to do the planning for it, and the tribal projects is working hard on that. They've started their meetings with the school and with the tribe, including the tribe. So it'll be a great deal for our people to have a new CEB school. So, and with the new CEB school comes the 74 houses for school staff in that area. So it'll be about a year-long planning process to come up with the plan, the architecture, the engineering, the design of the new school, and it'll be probably a good year of construction that'll go on. Perhaps it'll be a little bit longer due to our construction seasons. So it's an exciting time for our people and our children. So we'll have a new school soon, probably about 2 years. So yeah, that's also out at the Touch the Clouds land is going to be our new LTM. New LTMs, they have a design going. So another exciting endeavor. I believe the council approved to allocate $4 million for them previously a few months ago. So that's a good deal. And like I said earlier, the Wellness Recreation Center will go out on the Touch the Clouds land. The new tribal office will be out there. We want to put up a strip mall for the tribal citizens to do their own business. They would just rent the space and then set up their own business. So that's what we're working on. So going on, and I'm just getting into some additional important updates. We did the CREP agreement, which is worth up to $294 million. And what it is it's going to amend the range units management plans. So we'll add on to the management plans for all the range units and all our farm pastures throughout our reservation. And that way, and what it does is it basically rotates the cows. It rotates the cattle from pasture to pasture more frequently than currently it is. Each range unit has a management plan that is set up through the BIA land operations, and they do this management plan of where the cows are going to be at within the range unit, where they're going to go. So with the CREP agreement, it brings us to a better conservation use of our grasslands. So those cows will be rotated more frequently, or bison. I know we have bison as well. So or horses, So those animals will be rotated more often throughout the range unit, and in turn, the tribe will receive the CREP funding, and this is a great way for our tribe to take advantage of all of our lands that we have, and it'll bring in over a 15-year period, $294 million. If we get everyone, every range unit, every farm pasture signed up, we could see that amount going forward. And so, with these funds, we can help our people. We can do programs to put people back to work. So that's a good thing about this. So we signed that agreement back in February, I believe. We did a little signing ceremony up there with the USDA officials, and it was a good day to do this, because we approved this resolution back last year when I was a sitting council representative, and I actually made the motion to approve the CREP resolution and pass council. And a couple months later, we go through the election, we do good, and come out on the other side as the winner. And then so we're signing the paperwork for the CREP agreement, and that was back at the end of February. So a good deal for our tribe going forward. There's other tribes that got in on the CREP as well, and that was Rosebud and Oglala and Cheyenne River were the three, I believe. Also, that happened at that time to DC. We met with Deb Haaland, Secretary of Interior, and we've brought up several issues with her. We've told her we want the return to the Black Hills. We told her we need funds for roads, including the Takini Road. We talked about the lack of funding for law enforcement, and we talked about co-management of all treaty lands throughout our treaty territories. Definitely a good meeting with the Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland, and we're following up with her now, and we're sending in letters from this meeting. So we're looking forward to continue working with her to get the needed support from federal government to our tribe. Next update was I'm open and I'm available to do these updates on KIPI radio as much as needed, and but I was planning on doing them quarterly or every 6 months. We recently, and we're doing this right now, we've been going out to the communities. We've been providing this written report door to door. We just went through La Plante, and we went door to door there. We passed out also food. As you know, there's community center down there is kind of non-existent, so that's another need that that needs to be addressed. So we'll be going around to other communities, and we'll keep an eye out for us, and we'll be doing this probably through July. So and we'll be doing it again in 6 more months. So yeah, that's definitely want to provide reports back to the people, be accountable, be transparent to our people, and let them know what's going on. There's a lot of rumors and gossip that gets put out there and on Facebook or social media. We want to do our part to tell the truth and to be honest about it. So definitely keep an eye out for us, and we've just brought on another staff member and to cover the communications for our office going forward. So we're excited about that as well. Next update we have is the fines for council representatives. We proposed a resolution to council saying if you're late for council, you get fined. If you don't show up for council, you get fined. And if you break quorum, you get fined. So I believe the late fine was $75. The absent fine was like $100 or $200. And if you had a medical appointment, fine, you get excused or whatever else, if you're going to a funeral or something, or whatever else, you'll get excused. And then if you intentionally break quorum, though, which has happened, and has happened recently, we put the fine for that at $1,000. We propose this to council, and then it fails. So that's kind of where we are with that. And we can and we've listened to the comments that council had said. Some said, oh, this isn't clear. We need more details on how this is going to work. So and so is not supporting it for those reasons. They said things like that. So what we're going to do is they're going to take all those comments that were provided by our council reps and implement them into another resolution and propose that back to them. We're basically addressing what they said was the problem, and we're going to see if that goes anywhere, if we gain any more votes to get this passed, because this sort of thing happens a lot. And just the other day, we called for a council meeting, and we didn't get a quorum. So we had 9 there. We needed 10. Of course, currently right now, there's only 12 council representatives where there should be 15. And that's where they're doing the special election this month. And hopefully we'll have those 3 additional council reps added to council and sworn in by August session. So looking forward to that. That'll help with our quorum. We actually asked council to lower the quorum because we had those 3 vacant seats. So due to that fact, we asked council, you want to pass this resolution to lower the quorum to 8, because the Constitution says 2/3 of council. So if there's 3 vacant seats, there's only 12 of us, 12 seats that are filled currently, the quorum should be 2/3, which is 8. So, but that resolution also failed too. So we're kind of not helping ourselves. Council's not helping each other by maintaining this high standard of a quorum of 10. So that's kind of where we are with that. We'll keep trying. If anything, me as the chairman, I can ask council, say, hey, that guy didn't show up. Let's fine him. Let's hold him accountable. Let's just pass a motion now to fine him. So I can do that as well. If all else fails, that's what I'll be doing. Going on, we got involved in the other kind of ancillary organizations, such as the Coalition of Large Tribes, COLT. We got involved with the Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board, and we were selected as the chair of that group. We were also involved with the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association, and we're also involved with the National Congress of American Indians. They just had their meeting here back the other month, their summer session, and we was actually elected to represent the Great Plains region for the NCAI. So that was a good outcome for our people, and we'll use that position to help our people definitely and advocate for our tribe and our tribes in this region. So definitely a good move for our tribe. Also, we're involved in the Great Plains Water Alliance, and we've appointed the vice chairman Bob Walters to that group to represent with our water issues going forward. So that is a good group to be a part of as well. So the water wars are currently on, and we got to do our part to save our water, maintain and save our water. So there's ongoing dialogue with the U.S. Forest Service combating the Black Hills mining. Recently, they proposed mineral withdrawal, they call it, and which is good. In a certain area of the Black Hills around Pactola Lake, it's like 20-some thousand acres they'll kind of not doing any mining in, which is a good deal. That'll preserve the lands in that area. And what we've said, though, he said, yeah, that's good, do it. But also do another one that covers the whole Black Hills. That way there'll be no more mining within the Black Hills. Of course, to Lakota people, we hold the Black Hills sacred, and it needs to be treated as such. So we're telling the Forest Service to blanket the Black Hills with that mineral withdrawal as well. So that way there's no more mining within the Black Hills. And we've been active in taking up all the co-stewardship opportunities that currently is kind of ongoing with not only with just the Forest Service, but with also the U.S. Park Service, and any other federal lands in our treaty territory. There's the BLM. We're gonna be sending them letters saying, we let us in on this co-management. Yellowstone's another one. Wind Cave, that's another one. There's several opportunities for co-management. Mount Rushmore. We definitely need to take advantage of this time with the President Biden and the Secretary of Interior. So yeah, we're looking into and getting involved with co-stewardship within our treaty lands. Okay. There's several other areas that we're working on. We're going to be advertising for a cannabis director, and then this director will be involved in implementing the rest of the ordinances, the medical, the recreational, and the commission. There'll be a commission to regulate all the sales and the growth of cannabis. So this will be coming out soon. The cannabis director. We're also researching ways that we can lower food costs at LTMs. So that's something that's ongoing. We're researching other housing opportunities that might exist. We just got approved for a RAISE grant. And what happens with the RAISE grant is it was basically for planning, the planning phase for the streets of Eagle Butte. So every street in Eagle Butte that's kind of on our side of the town, we'll be planning new paving, new design, curb and gutter, sidewalks, streetlights. So that's definitely a plus for us to get this grant, and we commend the tribal DOT director for his and the contractors that drafted the grant. So we're happy with this outcome, and we look forward to doing this planning project. It's worth $4 million and for the planning project of new streets throughout Eagle Butte. So that's definitely a plus. And with our deteriorating roads throughout Eagle Butte is the biggest and the most used community throughout our reservation. So and we're seeing that now with a lot of the wear and tear throughout our community. So we're happy about this getting this approval for the planning project of the RAISE grant. And once this is done, this planning part is done, they'll use that plan to submit for a bigger grant for actual construction of the streets. So kind of a two-step process. So we're happy about that. We're looking forward to getting that done for the people. But yeah, that's kind of what we've been working on. Those are some of the highlights, high-level report that we want to provide to the people. And we're taking this report out to the people currently, and we'll be coming to your community sometime soon. So, and we'll bring food, of course, and we'll keep everyone updated on what we've been up to. This is our 6-month report. Actually, it's 7 months now. So actually, I'm going to put this Also on social media, on Facebook, wherever else is needed. We're going to start a YouTube channel and do more reporting for our people as things happen. We'll report back. And if you follow my Facebook post, that's basically all I post about is where we are with council, what happened, what we got done, what needs to get done going forward. I try to just be straightforward about it and just tell the facts. And I didn't want to put my own politics in it. I could do that too, but I want the people to have a place and to go to get the facts. And what they make of those facts is on them. So I wanted to do that for our people so they have that transparency. So I'll put this report out for everybody to benefit from. And so, yeah, we thank you for the time. We thank KIPI for the time. And going forward, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our office. We thank you for this opportunity.
This has been your CRST Tribal Chairman's Report, brought to you by the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe and KIPI Radio. For more information, you can contact the Chairman's office at 605-964-4155.